Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't know now, you know. I'm the one rain myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off, take off, take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off. Ooh, she bout.
What up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? It's your girl Hannah, aka Ruta, and you are watching the Uprooted Network. Today is none other than Manifest Mondays. And it's been a while since I've had this kind of energy coming into this segment. It's been a heavy month, it's been a hard month. This lighting is not messing with me. Okay, y'all see the fall colors in the background, we out here vibing. Yeah, it's been a while, man. This month has been bumpy ride to say the least. Emotionally playing with triggers, like, yeah. It's been a doozy of a month, but nonetheless, we have survived another one. And I am grateful for that. Oh, this lighting. It's like it's giving me like this angel glow for those of you that are watching. For those of you listening, don't worry about it. But yeah, literally. Whew, this month has been a doozy. I have taken on the obstacle of, not even obstacle, the challenge, I would say, of finding a way to honor my loved ones, to not ignore my traumas and to face them head on and to sit uncomfortably with them all month. It's been exhausting to say the least. Um, but I also believe in the power of manifestation, and that's why I do this segment. And when I tell you, I be creating these show titles, like I do my outline, my program for the month, and every time I choose a title, something related happens that week. And it's just been so much. So I wanted to end this off on a more positive note, and that is to take back your life. That's really what I want for people. I talk a lot about legacy if you watch the other segments on here, and I always ask my guests like what they want their legacy to be. And for me, that is really wrapped up in this idea that people live their best life, that they can overcome whatever obstacles, challenges, difficulties they've had, the trauma that they've been through, the hurt that they've been through. You can still find happiness. You can choose it. It doesn't take away the things that have happened to you or that you survived, but it's your resiliency to continue to hope and to choose to fight and to choose to be love and light. And this year has tested my humanity in ways that I never thought it would. And I am already starting to want to cry because at the beginning of this year, um, I would say now when I think of this year, November 4th has become my New Year's. And I don't know if that's the same for the other Tagaru people in my community, but that's how I count my years now. Fuck January 1st. That day doesn't mean shit to me. November 4th is my New Year's, and for me, my new barometer for my life's purpose and um being a healer and helping people heal and building community and building connection is that I want people to understand that despite everything, if you're still breathing and you're still here, you still have purpose, you still have a mission. Your pain is not for any it's not for no reason. There is somebody that you're going to be able to help heal, and you will regain part of your heart in doing this type of work. It definitely makes a difference. And so this whole month I've been talking about what it takes to do that, essentially. What does it take for you to reclaim your life? What does it mean when I say take back your life? Because I think in the last 2 years, a lot of us have, myself included, felt very lost, and confused and just exhausted because everything that we grew up believing was true is all a lie. It's smoke and mirrors, and dealing with that level of shock is so excruciating. I think it's going to take us some years to really process what we've all been through in the last 2 years, the amount of gaslighting that we've had to deal with. Um, those of us who have been experiencing violence in our home countries, it's not just Ethiopia on fire. Today, if you guys have been tuning in, Sudan is also experiencing issues now. They just recently went through another revolution, so this is just heartbreaking on top of everything like they have been through. Sudan is like a very like it's a second home to Tagaru, and I was born there, and I feel like all my homes are on fire at once, and it's been so exhausting to think of how do we still function and be productive, and the things that used to matter don't really matter. Like I tried to explain to somebody, like my barometer for what is meaningful and important in my life, it has changed forever. And it's been a hard year accepting that fact. And I think the reason why I've been able to do it is because I declared it early on. I declared it very early on that, if some of you remember, some of you were introduced to me by this video I did that went viral, where I said, this is what war feels like. And it felt like my soul was being ripped apart. The amount of anger and frustration and sadness and pain that I was experiencing, that we all collectively were experiencing, um, was just heartbreaking. And I remember declaring in that video, and you guys can go back and watch it on my Instagram, it was that I didn't want to lose my humanity, that I didn't want to become an evil person and become the monster that they wanted to paint my people to be. And so what I realized is the reason I could do this work, like I said, is because I had all these coping mechanisms. I understood how my brain worked, and I understood what I was going to need to do for myself to keep sane. And I feel like tightness in my throat as I think about some of the difficulties that I've had to overcome, and all the triggers that I've had to overcome, the violence against women that has been rampant this during this genocidal war. It has been exhausting, and it has been so triggering for me. It has brought up skeletons and demons I thought that I had overcome. Um, and I know my sisters understand this because Black women experience violence in ways that would horrify people if we actually reported it. And that scares me. That scares me a lot. And so what I wanted us to start to think about is, how do we change that? How do we break that curse for ourselves? How do we become better? And we can't if we don't deal with the pain that we have. There's no other way around it. So when I say take back your life, you got to understand yourself. And you have to choose to be a good person. You have to choose to not lose your humanity. You have to choose that every day. It's difficult. I'm not making this I'm not even going to pretend that this is easy. I'm not going to pretend that there's days that I don't wake up wanting the world to burn, because the anger is so valid. Like this shit that we go through as a people is so disgusting. And despite all that, I choose to still hold on to like my kindness and my humanity, and I don't want to lose my spirit. And that's a conscious choice you have to make every day, not for them, but for yourself, because holding on to that amount of anger will literally kill you. So, um, there's some things I want people to take away from this. You can't control what happens, only how you react to it. If you didn't learn anything this year, anything at all, let this be it, please. Like, it's not going to be easier. Like, I really want us to be realistic with ourselves. This mess that we're in as a people is not going to be fixed overnight. There's not going to be a magical pill that's going to take all of this away. We're going to have to deal with it. And I have been trying to give people all the tools that I can think of, and I'm at that point where it's like, hey, let me just be real with you guys. Really, really real with you guys. This 1 year mark of this genocide, and about 2 years of, what is it, over 2 years now, of a global pandemic. We're just now getting to a place where we can start unpacking some of the things that went wrong, which means there's going to be more investigating to do. There's going to be more details that are going to come out. If we were horrified before, we're going to be more horrified later. And I don't like to I don't like to sugarcoat that for anybody, because what we've seen in the last year and what my psychology background tells me about how trauma works is this is the period where you make a choice and your life can go a couple of different ways. And I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow when I talk about closing out my domestic violence series. But here's where you get to make a choice. You can choose to stay in the victimhood that you are in right now, that all of us are in, rightfully so. We are the victims, right? Here's the harsh reality that people often don't want to talk about. If you're Black in this country, the amount of time and the amount of grace people are going to give you is very slim, very slim. And it's going to be up to you to be able to do that for yourself. If you really want to hold on to your humanity and you want to hold on to that spirit that you have in that soul, because this world will try to crush it, you have to choose yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to find a way. And that takes a level of self-awareness, and it takes a level of commitment to get you to this place. And a lot of people come up to me or, DM me or, pull me aside for conversation, and they often tell me that they wish they could be more like me, And I said, well, that's your choice. It really is your choice. Every single day you have to make that choice. Do I want to choose myself and be a better person? Is my personal development and growth important to me? Is my health important to me? And what do I mean by health? Your health is everything. It's not just your physical health. It's your mental, emotional, your spiritual well-being. Financially, are you okay? Like, can you financially, meaning, can you support yourself? Do you have a roof over your head? Are you able to have food on your plate and clothes on your back, right? Like the basic fundamentals. These things are questions that you have to like get really comfortable answering for yourself, and a level of awareness to be honest about where you are, where you stand. And do you like being in that position? How long do you want to stay there? Because we can talk about all the reasons why you're there, and we should, and you should have the grace to do that. But the reality of the world is they're not going to give that to you. They're not. This year has showed us over and over how Black bodies are not important to the society and how we go ignored. Um, the rate of violence against Black women is insane. The reasons we die is insane. We talk about a lot of different things, and there's so much against us that we don't have control over, but we do get to control how we react to it. We can stay in rage, we can be in that place, we can operate from that, but eventually it will eat you up from the inside. So you can choose. You can choose to stay in that, um, or you can choose not to, and you can choose yourself, and you can choose a path forward. You can choose your healing and whatever way that's going to look for you. But you have to choose that for yourself. So when I say take back your life, I'm telling you, make a choice. Who do you want to be? You got to be very clear about that. Can you look in the mirror and say, I like myself today? Like, I like the person that I'm trying to become. My heart is in the right place. Where I'm going is where I want to be. Like, you got to really make these decisions for yourself. And in order for you to do that, the other thing that you're going to have to really face and deal with is you can't heal what you don't expose. I had a beautiful conversation with a friend this week, checking in, and you know, a lot of us have been going through it. This fall transition, this approaching of um, such a big anniversary date, it's so overwhelming, and we've been feeling it. Our bodies have felt it. We have been chaotic. The level of bickering has gone up. The amount of like tension and frustration I have felt in different spaces has risen for sure. Rightfully so. We're dealing with a lot. It's difficult. Um, and what I will say is we have to acknowledge what we're going through. And the more you try to bury the stuff that you're feeling, the more pain you try to ignore, the more difficult you're gonna make it on yourself, and myself included. I swear I'd be doing this for me, really, and you guys just go along with me on this journey. But um, essentially, this is a metaphor that I've used for my father, my uncles, like the guys in my life. Just people seem to be able to understand this reference. So the trauma and the pain that we have dealt with and faced this year is this: you are essentially a truck. I know a lot of hubshots are in the trucking business, so hopefully this reference works. Um, you have loaded this truck with images, with headlines, with news, with just devastating things. This truck is completely full. But here's the problem: you never unloaded it. So you've tried to go from stop to stop, and you're trying to move, and your load has just gotten heavier and heavier and heavier, but you have not unloaded. At some point, you're going to get to a place where you can't move anymore. You cannot move anymore because you haven't unloaded anything. There's no room for anything new to come in, and now you're stuck. And a lot of people will get stuck in that pattern, and they will be there for a while. And so when I say you can't heal what you don't expose, if you don't start to unload some of that stuff, whether you put it in a journal, whether you talk to your friends or family, or if you actually go to a therapist, a peer support group, whatever it looks like, you will not move past that part of your life. You will not. And I'm saying this to you as I've had to do this all month long and really address the violence in my life and address how that's affected me in ways that um, I'd never thought of before. And that's only happened because I've been open to having these conversations and open to being vulnerable. And it's made me so much stronger. This has been my therapy all year. I haven't gone to a therapist. You guys have been part of my therapy. my family and friends, some therapeutic settings, my journal, all the different meditation practices and things that I've done. I have done all of that. I have made myself the most important person. And because of that, I have been able to show up for the rest of you. And that's really, truly the answer. And that's really, truly what I want people to take away from me. If you haven't learned anything else, that's really it, is just please choose yourself, love yourself, take back your life, take these tools, understand how your brain operates, start putting in that work to understand what your triggers are and why they're there. It is not an overnight process, it is a daily choice to choose yourself and to take back your life. And I really hope that I have been that example for you all. I really, really do. So, um, what I guess that is my manifestation for you all, is the strength and the courage to find yourselves, to be the best versions of yourself, and to be unapologetic about that. Please take up all the space. Like, please, please, please take up all the space that you can. You deserve to. And that's what I'm manifesting for everybody. I really, really hope you guys receive that. And if anybody is in that dark place because they've hit that wall and they haven't unloaded their truck, please reach out. I will do my best to help you find resources to just get you over the finish line, because the sad part is about when you get stuck, you start to numb. And when you start to numb, that's how addiction gets created. And alcoholism is a big problem. But it's not just alcoholism. Like, you start with something and then you continue and you continue. And I'm telling you right now, that is how we see the generations of violence and trauma continue, because we refuse to do our healing work. So I love you all. Happy Manifest Mondays. I will see y'all tomorrow for Black Women Wednesdays. Again, I'm doing a special tribute tomorrow. And Thursday, we will be on Clubhouse to wrap up our month on domestic violence and kind of understanding the systems that are created around it. So I hope you guys all tune in for that. I may or may not have a special episode on Friday to wrap up this year, and I'm going to take a nice vacation and some self-care and not do live shows for the month of November and possibly December. I'll let y'all know. But there are a couple projects and things up my sleeve, so keep your eyes open. Make sure you are subscribed, okay? Turn the notifications on, like and share. If this has blessed you in some way, if you felt like you have gotten value from this platform, I need y'all to help me out. Make sure you're subscribed and that you're sharing it with your people. And if there's somebody that you know is in a dark place and there's something that I've discussed that could help them, please send that to them. Some people are not going to go get the help they need, but if you can just do them the favor of putting it in their inbox, you will make the world a difference. So I love y'all, everybody.